If you really don't want me around, then at least come out and say it straight.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
I am rather interested in armor.
We can't do all the teaching.
Too bad. I guess it will have to be you then.
What if I were to join the professor's class?
Calm down.
Absolutely absurd. Delusional, even. Please don't let her down, okay?
They said they weren't picky about who they used as their test subjects.
Indeed, I have truly grown so much. Excuse me?
Hello everyone and welcome back. We will probably be getting a lot of videos this month, as my law school experience is just about at its end. So I have a few in the hopper here. You'll be getting at least one the next 2 weeks in addition to this one. So look forward to that. I certainly am, as there are a lot of exciting things happening in the game at this point. Right now, we have Ferdinand getting to War Monk status, so he gets an additional point of strength and a little bit more defense. So our... I don't know if he was even a cannon, but he's a little less glass. Meanwhile, over here we have Constance getting into her own kind of pinkish mech suit, and look at all those stats. That is an incredible amount of growth. Now we've got some side missions to get through. You might recognize Ocean View as something where Seteth is force deployed before he's officially recruited, which means
I will recapture the monument.
That while he has a goal of recapturing the monument, he will in fact just be enjoying his day on the beach. Flayn is also force deployed, but she is going to be in the A-team soon enough. So we need to train her up so that in those missions after Chapter 13, she will hopefully not be completely useless. I don't think she is a Fortress Knight yet, so as it is, she is kind of completely useless. Linhardt is not. Even on his Wyvern, he is still a magic tank, so he can go up there and mix it up.
That's my cue.
And on this map, he can fly out of range pretty easily, given the sand slowing down all the units on the ground. Dorothea has a similar advantage. So she'll be able to take out that mage that Lyn attacked. Now, strategically, we're going to be sending some of our tougher units over into the water to take on those assassins. Constance and Bernie will actually be able to deal with some of these units. Look at this. Constance, who just got in to that mech suit with the minimum defense that comes from that class, is able to take 0 from these assassins with Hanneman's help. Now, Linhardt is going to be doing a lot of the offensive work on this map, flying around with that bow and being able to deal that damage to those mages. These assassins are clearly more dangerous, so we'll have Petra set up a wind there. Let's see. Syleth here is able to get into position to finish it off with a Bolganone, if he can actually land the 5. There he goes.
Each battle a chance.
And that gets him to level 24. Let's see how that goes for him. Not well.
I'm not setting a very good example.
No, not for Anna, even though that's apparently how she mastered the skills of mages. So her, you know, she got roped into studying under you as well. Bernadetta is going to come over to left squad here to fight off the assassins. It's okay if they can't go very fast. We just have to make sure that as they approach, they don't start going after some of the units behind Bernie and Constance. So, Caspar, look out. You've got to finish this guy off or you are dead. So luckily, your magic is powerful enough to use the combination of fire and water to get things done. Your robes are going to be wet, buddy.
I'm just getting started.
Okay, then. So, Caspar is good there at level 21. He got a point of magic, which is always good. He's not yet where the minimum will be if he ever gets a class upgrade, but he is over level 20, so it is theoretically possible. Dorothea here gets a kill. And Seteth just having a grand old time over in the south. Ooh, Constance actually taking damage, so that Hanneman has 1 point to reduce from that follow-up. Bernie lands the 70, actually gets a crest activation to land another one, so that makes things substantially simpler. We'll be able to advance Constance up a little bit, and she actually hits with the lance.
That can't be right.
So that's great from Constance, make things a lot easier, puts Caspar at less risk as we still advance over on that left side. Linhardt still getting things done, actually taking a pretty significant amount of damage. That's one of the more powerful mages, I guess. But it's not so much that we are really that worried about him. Ferdinand can use a fading blow to really teach that nerd a lesson and back up enough that he is not the focus of all that fire. Literal fire in this case. We'll do a little bit of repositioning, Caspar acting as the healer over for left squad, and Dorothea can get in some chip damage and get to safety so that they're still attacking Linhardt, who is clearly the most dangerous unit from their perspective. Good dodge there from Ferdinand. Constance keeping things up over here. The lance a little less accurate than it was on the attack. Getting one of those critical zeros, taking our job, and that's what Constance is really angry about, is the IP theft. Seteth, as you can see, in a mage duel does not do very well. Having Volganon equipped probably didn't help in that scenario, in that it slowed him down, but his magic resistance is also just quite bad. Petra going to go for one of the patented 69 crits. We have reached peak Petra comedy.
Being mindful.
Seteth still holding on to Acheron's spine so that he can miasma from this distance and do more from the poison strike than from anything else. Linhardt won't quite finish this off here, so we're going to have to give the credit to somebody else. Maybe Dorothea can fly in, or Ferdinand will be able to take it. We'll debate a little bit about where to park Linhardt. We'll put him up there so that somebody can attack him from that ledge. And Dorothea gets to take the kill and gets to level 22 as a result.
I want to be all I can.
That 13th point of strength is actually pretty important. Dorothea won't be getting a strength max, won't be getting a strength base from upgrading until we can get her into Wyvern, which is difficult since she hasn't been wielding an axe. So that might take another minute. Caspar contributing over here with Bernie and Constance, but there are 3 units coming out, so we have to position pretty carefully to make sure that they don't just come over and kill Caspar, which they can very, very easily do. Okay, so if we lance this guy, I don't know that they're going to come around and try to get Caspar. I think we're okay. Seteth, continue monitoring what's coming from the south. Ooh! Okay, they did come for Caspar, but they couldn't quite kill him in one attack. So it looks like we did make a little bit of a mistake over here in that we positioned Linhardt to attack once that mage is in the bushes. That's not great. We'll have to try and draw them out of those, or just take our lumps for the positioning error. Seems like Dorothea says the solution is just to use Curved Shot, as that will be slightly below the funny percentage of actually hitting. Now the question is, where do we want her to be? It would have been nice to have her providing some support to Linhardt in terms of making things more accurate, but maybe just moving Seteth up to provide enough of a boost. We'll get the poison strike, we'll get a tiny bit of damage from the fire, and no, Anna, we are not particularly impressed. Because Seteth is just here to provide additional accuracy. We can use Curved Shot with Linhardt now. Between Dorothea and Seteth, that was enough to set him up.
Can't get ahead of
And the Curved Shot made things accurate. So ultimately, the little error in positioning there didn't matter too much. We're going to do a little bit of healing and warding on Lynn. And now Caspar has to get himself out of trouble for once.
Yeah, it worked.
And that assassin is down. Bernadetta going to get in melee range with the Killer Axe and turn a problem into not a problem anymore by spending some of our Black Sand Steels. Can't quite draw out another enemy on the left. Flayn is pretty exposed on the south here. We'll have to make sure that Seteth doesn't actually get into combat because he is not allowed to at this juncture, given that he is wielding a forbidden weapon in a forbidden class. We have more mages to deal with, and we'll get to the south eventually to figure out how Flayn is going to get herself out of this jam where people are coming at her purposefully. We have Ferdinand over here to make things substantially easier. While he is a little frail on the magic resistance side, he is still very capable of punching nerds right out. Linhardt hits with the axe, so that's another mage down.
How long will
And we
this
get
take?
an irrelevant for now Lancebreaker. Fly on up there. Lynn, Dorothea can start getting the chip damage off. Now, the question is whether we want to put anyone in attack range. I'm not sure we do at this juncture. We'll just heal up and hope they start running at us on their own accord. Up here we can put Constance and Bernie within attack range, and we'll have Seteth look off into the Western Ocean. You know, gotta absorb the views, see the last beautiful thing before he is actually inducted into this class and has to start suffering like everyone else. Got a lot of enemy movement, not a lot of enemy attacks.
I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
So Ferdinand is going to remind us of who he is, because that's just how it be with Ferdinand.
That's my cue.
And now, Dorothea, can you finish this by yourself? We'll have to use Night Kneeler on the Steel Lance to make it happen, but it is 100% accurate.
All
So while it
roses
is
have
slightly
thorns.
more expensive to repair, it does get us the kill and the experience. We can fly Dorothea off a little bit. She's going to have to bail Flayn
get
out,
the
so we'll need to
victory.
position her somewhere to the south. Petra can just use a simple fire spell
Flame
to
spirit
end this
protect
and
me.
get herself to level 24. Wow,
Hard work
that
created
is a
this.
really incredible one. Petra actually has been putting in the reps in the Magic Gym. And, this is a little more complicated because now Caspar is really in trouble. So
They pushed me too
we're
far.
going to have to put our sword through our shield here and set off this bomb. And Caspar is still in a little bit of trouble from that one sword unit. So we're hopefully going to be able to back him up enough so that that's not a problem. Constance can just smash right through here with the steel axe.
May my foes someday
Make that not a
forgive
problem
me.
anymore. That gets her to level 21. Oh wow, Constance and Petra must have been hanging out because those were really good levels for both of their
I'll
classes.
be fine.
Caspar has 3 HP, which is 2 more than he needs. So he'll just
You see
keep
that?
going like there's no problem, hide behind Bernie, and get a kill of his own. Seteth, you can go soak up the views from over there. And now Linhardt is going to remember that some of his favorite hobbies are down here on the ground.
Us. We will never yield to the likes of you.
All yield to the power of Linhardt. As you may see here, your Nosferatu stands no chance against the likes of him.
It's simple logic.
Wow, Petra must have been teaching a lot of people today.
Goddess, have you abandoned us?
Well, that's how a lot of people that get punched out by
Please,
Linhardt feel.
Let Mother rest in peace.
And, Flayn and not the magic tank that she needs to be right now. But she can absorb enough damage that she's not dead immediately, so we have a turn to bail her out of this. So the problem is that Dorothea is the only one that's in range right now to help. Seteth is as well, but that doesn't count. Come on. So we're going to have to think about all of our various movement arts. We can use Petra and Syleth to move Linhardt down, and that lets Dorothea get into range to use Reversal. So if we can gambit both of them with a 45% chance to hit. Okay, we landed it, but then we remember Reversal doesn't actually work.
I am fine.
So...
Am I not?
No, you're not fine. I think even if you land your 45% gambit, you still die, Flayn.
And now.
So, okay, we do get the 2 45s in a row, which is kind of shocking.
I am maturing at a rapid pace.
Okay, she gets not a great level for her class, but not the worst. I don't know if this actually keeps Flayn alive. But we'll find out on the enemy phase, I suppose.
The sun.
So, over here, are we okay, even? This thing has so little HP left that I imagine that we're okay. There we go. Okay, so team left is out of trouble. But I'm really not sure about Flayn. Caspar cannot really help that much. He's going to get the incidental experience from healing that 1 HP on Constance. But the Flayn puzzle is really what's troubling me here. This guy
You were wide open.
opens himself up to death by Dorothea, but... Oh! Oh, this did barely keep Flayn alive. Okay, that was kind of a suspenseful moment. Oh, Petra's the problem?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to try to make that go better for a variety of reasons. I guess with all those movements, we put Petra in an inopportune spot. So we can push Ferdinand over with Linhardt, and if we use reposition with Dorothea, Ferdinand can run on in, and he can use Gambit that's not bugged, and had an 85% chance. So we're no longer reliant on those coin flips. We know that Flayn would have lived, but she wouldn't live through the mage attacking her.
Did that suffice?
So she'll get to level 19 again with, of course, the same stat ups. The defense point we will take, of course. And so now she won't get attacked. Bernadetta can get us started over here with just an Iron Axe hit. It's 100% accurate. So we'll take that damage where we can get it. Move Constance back. She had a really good chance to hit with her axe here as well.
Truly, you weren't meant for combat.
And Caspar, we gotta still take that incidental experience where we can get it.
So sorry.
And Petra, we learned we do not want her in the line of fire, so we'll back her up and heal Silent.
Thank you.
We didn't actually end up needing her movement art to make everything work out. Okay, that assassin runs toward us with the combined power of Syleth, Petra, and Linhardt. We should be able to make pretty short work of him. So a wind here. If it was a crit, that would have been a little funny. But now either Linhardt or Syleth can finish things off. And how do we want to do that? Linhardt, can you get a more accurate hit with your punches? You can. Well, we pay for that, but not with our life.
Stay focused.
Alright, well, Syleth will take all the credit.
As expected.
And now back over here, we have a single assassin. Flayn contributed. She literally dealt damage. Okay. Dorothea can't really accomplish a whole lot, but Ferdinand can. Light him up, buddy.
Only a fool challenges me.
If there is any lesson to take from this series, it is that. Now, we have this general over here that we've got to take out.
It is our duty to worship Saint Kehoe. We will not allow heretics
A little late
to
for
come
that.
here.
We killed your friend up top. Did you not see that? Dorothea's going to get things started. I think that damage will immediately heal off, but it's about sending the message. Do some repositioning and incidental healing. And now we have Linhardt and Dorothea at the same time. Looks like Linhardt can just swashbuckle his way to a kill here, even through the minor healing they got through the Nosferatu. And we get a Levin's sword, who I don't think anyone can actually use.
But it was for the sake of the goddess.
Okay, now we have this little band over at the top left, and we're going to try and unite both our squads to start this little confrontation. It's a bunch of mages, so Linhardt and Petra will actually be pretty good at taking these hits. We're going to take Caspar back from the brink of death and see what happens when they start a mage duel with Petra. Doesn't go great for them. Wind is looking a lot better. The Brigid School of Sorcery has given Petra a lot of tactics in these little mage duels. And now we have to decide how to proceed. We still do so very slowly, except for Linhardt and Dorothea on this map. So Syleth can start things off so that Dorothea can get a little more XP. What we're worried about at this juncture is just getting enough stat experience and literal experience to try and get people into their advanced classes.
You were wide open.
Petra is already effective enough as it is. So Dorothea is somebody that still needs to get to her advanced class. Caspar is another. Flayn, obviously, we're concerned about. Constance just got into her mech suit. She still has the mini bow as an option she can use. She's not the magic tank we would like Linhardt is, but she doesn't die like most Fortress Knights would be expected to. Her Nadetta, for example, is very bad at resisting magic attacks. Constance can go in with a smash here to remove this obstacle, and that gets Hanneman to level 20, who will be on the A team post chapter 13.
I could go another few rounds.
And he gets a little bit of defense. He still needs to get into his own mech suit, and he will potentially be able to whenever he's level 20. Linhardt can get some serious damage with that curved shot, so now maybe Dorothea can claim another life. There we go. Now we're just down to the one central figure at the monument here, and we can close everybody in. Except for Seteth, of course, who is still just watching whatever. Maybe not even the battle.
Prepare to taste the power of the true servants of the goddess.
What, did you make a cake? Okay, a little chip damage from Dorothea. We have everybody closed in, so we should be able to finish things out. So we'll put Dorothea right there to provide some support. And then a lot of damage from Linhardt means that the next attacker should probably finish things off. Who that will be, it is now an open question. Let's put Linhardt right there, so he's actually providing support. And who is it that we want to give the finishing blow? Constance! Constance will take it. There we go. That gets her to level 22. And what does that do for us? Point of defense. That's kind of her important function. So we get an advanced seal. We get some experience.
Of course, brother. That is what I came here to do.
And Flayn will take credit for all of the violence that she barely participated in. Dorothea gets MVP from our efforts. I've been dreading this one. This won't go great.
What is with you? Finally coming apart at the seams?
I haven't the authority to prevent it.
I sure hope the church knows what they're doing.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Now, we have these paralogs from the Ashen Wolves. They're particularly difficult. The advantage we have with this one is that we've been treating Constance as a member of the A-team. Yuri has been somebody that we've leveled up a little, so we might have a chance here. And now that we have Thyrsis and the range increasing staff from the Flayn mission, we have a little bit more of a chance. Something that we really need to do is prevent monster proliferation by trying to get Linhardt and Dorothea over to where Duke Gert is to try and intercept all of the transforming dudes here that we have, giving us a little bit of lore spoilers for what the Imperial Army is planning, since we have my son over in the bottom left of this map, showing that he's been up to no good and experimenting with having random people transform into stuff. So we have our neat little single file line. You know, Seteth has managed to teach kindergarten skills that they may or may not have had before.
Must be awful losing to
And
me.
we have Linhardt in the bushes, letting the wyvern take a breather for a moment. There's always one monster that manages to transform, unless you're using like warp and stride strategies, which are just informally banned in this series. So, if we get Seteth up here to remove the threats to Linhardt, we'll probably be able to let him get on the wyvern again and move on up. We are a little over-leveled as this paralogue goes, but it's still going to be quite the challenge, even though we're not going to get a whole ton of experience out of it except for, like, Yuri. Because he is the least leveled member of the group, but still actually quite powerful because his base stats as a character are pretty good.
I'm better than you.
You see, he's already at strength 17, even at just level 16, which is normally bad, but is actually quite good
A bit more skill
comparatively.
than anyone.
So, Yuri is acting as our lord here. You'll notice Edelgard hasn't been around for a little bit. That's suspicious. Dorothea can use the same tactic as getting off the mount. And, it's a little bit risky, but maybe Linhardt can get a kill here to make it less so. 83% chance, 100% chance. Let's go with that. Yeah, that takes this guy out, moves Linhardt closer, keeps Dorothea safe. All around a pretty good decision. Now we have to move the single file line forward, use some of our movement arts to try and make things faster. We're going to study some things, numbers, which are very exciting. And now we should be safe from that little starting squad on the right. Dorothea takes some hits, but is ultimately okay. We're out of range of the archers. Monster 1 comes out, fails to deal any damage to Duke Gert. Transformation can take place even after Dude's dead, which doesn't make a ton of sense. No, we skip some dialogue here because there's some things you don't see sometimes, and I had to go through this mission several times. I had enough of hearing Mycen give his little speeches. You see, Linhardt has a rapier that we got from the Hanneman Manuela paralogue, I believe. And, well, he's not going to put it to good use quite yet, but he did literally use it because it's a very dodgy kind of weapon. Seteth and Petra can use their range to deal some damage here, prevent that one from transforming into a monster when it gets to Gert. And you see a Nosferatu coming out from Petra. It was a little less accurate, but it saves her spell slots for later. We go through a lot of them because she relies on doubling so much. Wind is actually in pretty short supply. We get a lot of crits with those, so we gotta save them. Put in a little chip damage with Ferdinand, who is still the Warmonk class. Couldn't quite get into range with punching, at least not safely. And now Dorothea
always nice.
can finish things off with a Night Kneeler and come join Linhardt up here, defending Duke Garrett. Everyone on foot is moving really slow, which made strategies of keeping everyone together and slowly working through all of the units pretty ineffective, because you'd get so many monsters around Duke Garrett that he'd just die before the whole army could show up and try to bail him out. Garrett saying he's perfectly capable of defending himself. Thank you very much. And yet he runs away. Okay. Looks like Dorothea can't accomplish anything concrete right now, so we're going to try and get Petra in the mix here, taking things out before they reach Garrett. And maybe now it's worth using some of our heavy hitter spell slots. We've only got 10 wins. Okay, don't get the crit there, so we are not super lucky. But that's a lot of damage. We should be able to get rid of it on the next turn. We will punch Sileth forward. Everyone's been dreaming of punching Sileth since he first started, so good job, Flayn. And with Thyrsus, he's actually able to finish things out there. So that's good. That's good for us. That's another monster that will not spawn. A lot of repositioning we still have to do. The central position here, south of this fountain, is going to be the one that we have to defend. Unfortunately, that does mean we are surrounded once all the reinforcements spawn. But the goal here will be to get rid of as many things in that central position as possible before Mycen actually calls in the reinforcements. Unfortunately, there is one monster there. The first one that spawns is incredibly weak. The second and subsequent ones are actually quite powerful. You can see that Duke Garrett could probably solo this monster if he wanted to, especially with the luck he's been getting. But the other ones, he definitely can't. Putting Bernadetta right in this position will seriously interfere with the monster's ability to go where they want to go. She has nothing to fear from this one, which will probably just want to kill before breaking all of its barriers. There's a little bit of ore value lost in that, but that is honestly not our top priority at this point. So we can get a vulnerability through just by using a sewing needle to crack through that wall. And now Ferdinand can come in and remember that he likes to punch. And he doesn't even need to keep gloves on. He can literally just punch a monster in the face. And yeah, he gets all of his 2 experience for that. Manuela does get Fiendish Blow, which is really good, because it makes up for the terrible stats. Manuela is actually pretty good as a Reason user, because she has fine magic stats.
Get it together.
Yuri telling us to get it together, which, honestly, if we could, we would, Yuri. Thunder coming down from Sileth doesn't nail a crit, but the Poison Strike means Yuri can finish things off. We are a little worried about this monster. I'm not sure that it'll be able to kill any of us, but we're stopping it from advancing toward Garrett and causing a problem that way. Here's why we saved our wins. It's a very fast little attack, and getting a double is really important for Petra.
Not what I was hoping
no. No, it was not. And that luck stat is very ironic, isn't it? Okay. Linhardt can just go for some pinprick damage. And look at all of the rewards we're getting for our efforts here. 1 XP. Come on. Okay, who does this monster go after?
I don't know who schemed you into this mess, but I'll make the quick for
It
you.
comes at Yuri, so we get the bonus dialogue. And he's fine. Don't worry about him.
I'm so sorry, but please help me.
We've got this.
Do we? I'm not so sure we do, Yuri. They're coming at us at all sides. Not great.
Reinforcements.
Yeah, that's the attitude I have about it, Constance. So you gotta back up into the bushes here if we have any hope of surviving, because we have both conventional and magic weaponry coming at us from this side. Constance can use her sewing kit to sew a little hole into this tapestry. So the question is whether we want to just kill it or try to shatter all of the barriers. I think we want to try to just kill it. So Bernie can come in with the killer axe. If we smash, that's a 71% chance to get the crit. We do nail it. Good job, Bernie. That takes it down to 9 on this health bar. So that means that Seteth coming in with an attack will take the health bar down and do the poison strike after. So maybe now Linhardt and Ferdinand will be able to take things out. We actually have to worry about these mages over here. If they start getting to anyone other than Linhardt, they're kind of a problem. So Linhardt's going to take care of that. Ferdy. Okay. We would like him to get a crit here. Probably 2 is what we need to actually take it out. So here's 1 that takes it to 29. So if we get another one, no. Okay. But it was a 29% chance to crit, so that is about what we can expect. Caspar, oh, Caspar. Even the steel bow, you can't deal the 11 we need. It's okay, buddy. We still got Dorothea and Yuri over here. So we can have Flayn guard the bridge, which isn't ideal, but is literally possible. Dorothea has to use the bow, and she can just do it. Okay, the crit keeps her out of the 50-50 chance of dying. So, okay.
Hey, good job.
If Ferdy's going to miss the crits, I guess this is what we needed to count on. That's a good crit animation, so I'm glad we got to see that. Dorothea's going to fly back down here. Yuri's going to have to hide in the bushes and drink out of that mystery flask that he got from Ferdinand. Can Flayn actually take the heat here? Looks like she can. For now. And there's the reason why I say for now, coming up from the north, and some archers mixing it up with Petra. Little do they know, she has the range to retaliate and get the kill instantly, but she still takes more than enough damage to put her at mortal risk. These guys got nothing on Linhardt, but the question is how quickly we can dispatch all of them. We have these riders coming in from the north, which isn't ideal. It does plug up the space to access Yuri, so he's okay for now. Real problems coming in from the right.
That was nothing.
Ferdinand still quite dodgy when he has his dukes out. Okay, we're gonna need some gambits to slow the tide over here. They are in position for Bernie's bombastic bombs to make a real difference if she can actually walk that far. So we're going to take a survey of what gambits we actually have available and realize that we have precisely the tool that we need in precisely the distance that we need it. So I think goal number 1 is to make sure that Bernie's bomb actually goes off where it needs to. Ferdinand, we're going to plug right here, use that dodginess he has, and punch somebody that's not quite a nerd, but archery's a little nerdy. Okay, so now if we move Seteth over here, we can provide support to Bernie, which she'll desperately need in order to make sure that that bomb goes off and prevents all of the leakage. Looks like Seteth can get a kill here with Bolganone, but what we didn't account for is that he only had 2 Bolganone slots left, so he switches to a bow, which will not provide Bernie the support she wanted, so we're just relying on a coin flip. Okay, we get it. Okay, things are looking up. That assassin can only get to Bernie. which unfortunately would put him in the bushes, but, you know, we really needed the bomb to go off. That was the important thing. Now we can trade Flayn with Constance, who can hold the bridge a lot better. As you can see, we're only taking 3 from these retaliatory hits, and I don't think these axe guys have pass, so she can just hold the bridge as long as she has enough health. Petra can help Linhardt clear out some of these mages, and if she uses Nosferatu, she'll have enough health to take the hits from the archers that are coming by. Caspar, still one of our most inept members, but against these knights, actually pretty good with magic. So that means Yuri should be able to finish things off, or at least just hide in the bushes still and heal again. Gives us some options. Lyn, it looks like we have to spend a gambit here. Flip this coin to hope. Okay, we won the coin flip again. And that'll keep Yuri safe, at least from those mages. We can put Linhardt there so that it'll be able to kill things on enemy phase. Alright. Dorothea now can come and save Yuri, I think. So we can get the curved shot off. That takes that one out. And okay, we gotta position her there, I guess. She's quite vulnerable. We move Yuri up, I think. Try to get some dodges. Alright, let's take a swig and hope for the best, I guess. Yeah, Bernie is fine there. She can't counterattack. Takes the poison strike damage, but her defense is so high that I think she's fine. A crit for 9 doesn't save him from the Wrath of Constance. Problems coming up. I think these assassins do have pass, and they can hit Constance with a gambit, which isn't ideal. It doesn't move her, so she's okay for now, but it means she can't attack. And we might need to try and get rid of that assassin from behind her. Well, she could technically attack. It would just be a terrible idea. Alright, really good dodge there from Petra so that she can gain HP back with Nosferatu. Pretty lucky round we're getting here that is going to make this strategy of fighting an all-front war a lot more successful than it has any right to be. Caspar there getting a slightly unfavorable exchange from this knight. Good dodge there from Constance, dodging the impossible to dodge 69%, but can't keep away from it forever. Okay, Bernie making the most of her situation over on the right. And now we have Silas, who has to have a little bow duel, and it looks like he has the speed to do it, at least against a rattled opponent. More mages coming at Petra. It's okay. She gets some of that HP back, but I think she's going to get some kind of debuff. Shamir gets Physic, which is going to be important later. More Nosferatu. A legit strategy on Petra. It's looking like... yeah, there's another debuff. Okay, Caspar's fine. He has 2 HP. 2! That's so many. That's twice as many as you actually need. Bernadetta doing some dancing here. That was a very unlikely turn of events. So she gets to keep more of that poison strike off of her. And now we have another very complicated set of things that we have to accomplish. We're going to keep the Nosferatu plan going on Petra. And she's holding the healing staff as well, and has Shamir equipped as the adjutant. So she has a lot of passive healing to try and keep this going. Ferdinand can keep the gloves on for style points. And yeah, that guy was wide open because he's not wearing the armor that he needs to deal with rolling with the punches. Bernadetta very impressed with all of that, as am I. Silas can get exactly the amount that he needed to get that kill, so that is okay. We're going to keep things going on the right. On the left, I'm not so sure, because we have Dorothea and Caspar trying to hold the fort. Dorothea can use the combat art to keep the world safe. at least for now. She's not super worried about magic. Linhardt, alright. This is where the rapier may be important. But looks like it absolutely isn't, because we're going to smash him with a big steel axe instead. Okay, well, Linhardt has enough damage output that we can actually keep things safe here. Caspar, we're going to have to just run out of harm's way, I think. So we're going to get a little bit of damage in with Flayn. Then Yuri can hop to the next set of bushes. Gotta use a Tempest Lance to finish this thing off.
Out of my way.
You're not going that way, Yuri. Alright, Caspar, you can heal Duke Gert. That's your contribution, is making sure the MacGuffin doesn't die. Okay, we got some problems over here. Problem not quite solved. Constance, you good? You good? You got something to drink? Alright. Excellent. Doubling us isn't ideal. So, Nosferatu plan keeps Petra alive, but I'm not sure that that's going to last. Someone runs through Constance. She's no longer rattled, so she can fight okay at this point. But looks like Caspar's healing was the big difference maker here. So, don't let anyone ever tell you that Caspar didn't help. This bridge conspicuously unguarded Petra down, which means I think we're going to have to reevaluate our whole approach. Okay, Dorothea takes some hits. Seteth lives, which is good to know.
Should I have held back?
We can't really sustain the loss of Petra. So we'll back things up here and try this whole thing again.
I will get the victory.
So we gotta move her back. Even with the Nosferatu plan, she just can't take that much magic damage. So that means we can use Linhardt to clear out this paladin.
Must be
and
awful losing to me.
as far as that goes, we'll be able to stay safe from the mages just by backing up. Seteth can move in and use his mini bow. You know, we want all of our mages using bows. We've seen that several times throughout the course of all these runs. Yuri can just use Tempest Lance, clear out all 24 hit points from this sword user, and can't hop back to those bushes, so I suppose he'll stay in those. Ferdinand can, of course, use all of his punch power to get rid of one of these archers. A lot of punches, 1 XP for each punch. Now, Dorothea should be able to get rid of this mage and then fly away, and we'll see how the red zone acts as a result.
I won't go down so easily.
Well, you actually would, Dorothea, but that's a discussion for another day. Here's the critical heal coming in from Caspar, and I don't know what Caspar is in range of, but they're not going for him for some reason. Bernadetta doesn't get a crit there, which would have been nice, but we needed the combat art to land a hit at all. Constance still has to take a swig. Please do not forget to drink your last drink. And now I think we're okay. Duke Gert is still fine. Constance gets a crit with the mini bow. That's kind of an intense animation from melee with that. But doesn't even kill off the warrior. Duke Gert, completely fine. Don't worry about it. Does Nosferatu land the counterattack? It does. That's pretty good for Petra. Undoes the Nosferatu with the Poison Strike, of course. Constance going to be feeling a Poison Strike. Notice that she drank the last swig out of her flask, so we might need to figure out a solution for that little issue. Seteth doubles back. He has 2 HP. Never mind, 1 HP. So he gets to empathize a little bit with Caspar's situation. We're going to back Constance up so as to not risk any counterattacks. Finishes off the warrior. Still leaves her in a strategically good position. Syleth is actually going to use magic and be happy about his 1 hit point. It is all you need, as he often says. And so he's going to, you know, walk the walk as far as that lesson goes. Flayn will participate. And you're spent through 1 attack. Yeah, I guess it would be pretty tiring to walk around in all that armor given your strength score.
Can I go now?
Bernie, no, you absolutely cannot go now. We need you desperately. As somebody that can actually deal damage on this squad. Speaking of people that can deal damage, Linhardt has exactly enough damage output to finish off this Agarthan mage. Now the question is how we're going to stop the leakage coming from that uncovered bridge. A wind takes it out. It unfortunately means that we don't have Nosferatu up to survive the double attack from that mage. So we're going to have to figure out a solution to that. The mages obviously don't have pass, so we may be able to just plug the hole with Dorothea, but I'm not sure she has enough health left for that to be a viable strategy. So, what do we do? We can get a lot of healing going, which gives us a lot more XP than we get from fighting enemies on this map. I guess we're just chancing it on the attack on Petra. Oh, it was going for Banshee, so it wasn't going to double her, and in fact is going to die from the second hit of the Brigid Winds. More Poison Strike coming down on Constance, but that is fine. I think we've survived it here. Yeah, all of the waves coming from the left, north, and right are fine. So we just have to move down here, try to take our tattered lives here and move on, and figure out who will be able to fight Mycin. Ferdinand gets to level 25 from all of his incidental helping. And no, that absolutely can be right, Ferdinand. On the bright side, it was speed, which, as we've learned at the Brigid School of Sorcery, is the most important part of being a magic-using class.
My brother will be pleased.
Flayn there gets a kill, so she can say that she participated meaningfully. Oh, we actually have a couple more problems coming this way, but we shouldn't need the full force of our army to deal with them. Once they get in range of Bernie and Linhardt, it should be easy enough to dispatch them. So Linhardt on his mount is just going to charge in, undaunted, and use that rapier to take out an archer, not the mounted unit that it's effective against.
Not a total waste.
So it wasn't total waste to have the rapier equipped. That's exactly right, Linhardt. Now the question is how we get rid of this other archer who's threatening to kill Dorothea. Maybe Dorothea will get the kill here. She has a lot of mobility. Yeah. Just the Iron Lance doubling up. Those Pegasus Knight skills coming in handy. Now we've got a lot of moving and healing to do so that we can finally get rid of Mycin, get the Fetters of Dromi, and have a secret weapon in the upcoming missions. Some speed for Caspar. Speed and accuracy. Those are kind of the things he needs. Those are things he's bad at, so it's good to see some advancement there. Mycin is the only one left. The problem is, I don't know who can actually take a hit from him. Petra and Linhardt, maybe? Petra can actually counter from that distance, so we're going to use her to draw him out. Mycin's defenses aren't all that great, so we just need to make sure we have enough units to move in and finish him off once Petra gets the counterattacks in.
Destroy them!
Ooh, Gambit coming down. So no counterattack, but no damage done. We got a little bit lucky there. It was a slight favorite to hit us. So Syleth can attack without fear of counterattack, mostly for the poison strike damage. Here's a little miasma just to teach him what it's like to be hit by dark magic. Seteth is going to be claiming the throne as the ultimate Dark Mage. Constance can stay out of trouble here with a curved shot, which will set Mycen up to be defeated by whoever comes in next. And of course, Flayn is the one who is desperately in need of some XP. She's only at level 19. So can she get it? She does. Does it get her to level 20? No!
What the hell happened to them anyway?
Well, she
The
just doesn't have the
gulf of
XP she
my
needs.
ignorance prevents me from answering such a question.
Alright, Mycen down. Who's going to claim MVP from this epic battle? Seteth, come on. Alright, thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week. This should be a good summer for Failure Emblem, so I'm hoping to get through the rest of the run over the summer. Thanks everybody. See you next time.